Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss very important theorem, spanning set theorem. Spanning set theorem. Once see the statement. Let S is equal to V1, V2, so on, Vp be a set in V, and let H equal to span of V1, V2, so on, Vp. First, number one, if one of the vector in S contain P vectors, if one of the vector in S, say Vp, is a linear combination of the remaining vectors in S, then the set formed from S by removing Vp till span H. Nothing but if you remove one of the vector from here, then again the remaining vectors also span. That we have to prove it. And if H is non-zero vector, that is also a basis for H, we have to prove it. If H not equal to 0 bar, some subspace of S is a basis for H. Yes. Come on. One by one we discuss. First, proof. Given S equal to P vectors, we have V1, V2, so on, Vp. S is equal to V1, V2, so on, Vp. Be a set in V, number one. And also given H equal to span of V1, V2, so on, Vp. Now first I am proving first bit. If one of the vector in S, say Vp, so the Vp is a vector, is a linear combination of the remaining vectors in S. We have to consider that statement, and we have to prove, if you remove this vector Vp, the remaining vectors V1, V2, so on, Vp minus 1 also span. First, let us consider Vp is a linear combination of the remaining vectors in S. Suppose Vp is a linear combination of the remaining vectors of the remaining vectors in S, that is V1, V2, so on, Vp minus 1. Suppose Vp is a linear combination of the remaining vectors. What are the remaining vectors? V1, V2, so on, Vp minus 1. So we can write like this. Suppose Vp is a linear combination of the remaining vectors in S, that is V1, V2, so on, Vp minus 1. Therefore, Vp is equal to C1 V1 plus C2 V2 plus C3 V3 plus so on, Cp minus 1 Vp minus 1. Equation number 1. Vp is a linear combination of the remaining vectors. Vp is a linear combination of the remaining vectors. Total vectors, P vectors we have. I wrote Vp is equal to, so remaining vectors are up to P minus 1. V1, V2, V3, so on, Vp minus 1. Remaining vectors I wrote over. And now also we have H equal to span of V1, V2 so on equal to Vp. Nothing but the linear combination of these P vectors will get one more vector. Will get one more vector. Come on, right. Let us consider x bar equal to V1, okay, C1 V1 plus C2 V2 plus so on Cp Vp. Equation number 2. The first one already is given. Vp is a linear combination of the remaining vectors that I wrote, and also we have H is equal to span of P vectors. Span of P vectors is nothing but the combination of these vectors. We can write one more vector, we will get it. So I can consider that vector as x bar. So x bar is equal to C1 V1 plus C2 V2 plus so on Cp Vp. Now I will substitute Vp value in equation number 2 here. Okay. Substitute Vp value in equation number 2. Substitute Vp value in equation number 2. Come on, right. X bar equal to C1 V1 plus C2 V2 plus C3 V3 plus so on plus Cp into Vp. We have to write this one. Equation 1 we have to write. Equation 1 we have C1 V1 C2 V2 plus so on Cp minus 1 Vp minus 1. Come on, we'll simplify this one. X bar equal to C1 V1 plus C2 V2 plus so on this one Cp C1 V1 plus Cp C2 V2 plus so on. The last step is Cp minus 1 Vp minus 1 implies. Now I'll take V1 common. V1 C1 V1 Cp C1 V1. So I can take, if I take C1 V1 common, C1 plus C1 Cp we are getting times V1 plus I am taking V2 common, C2 plus C2 Cp V2 plus so on. If remaining is Cp minus 1 plus Cp times of Vp minus 1. We'll get only P minus vectors we will get. We'll get P minus 1 vectors. If you want, you can write like this also. C1 1 plus Cp times of V1, C2 1 plus Cp times of V2 plus so on Cp minus 1 times of 1 plus Cp times of Vp minus 1. We got a linear combination of how many vectors? V1, V2 so on Vp minus 1. So x bar is equal to linear combination of V1, V2 so on Vp minus 1. So x bar is equal to linear combination of x bar is equal to linear combination of v1 v2 so on vp minus 1. Therefore v1 v2 so on vp minus 1 also span h, also span h. So first bit is over. Simply he given already h is equal to span of v1 v2 so on vp vectors we got. If we remove one vector also, again that is span, again it is span. We have to prove that one. Yes, we got p minus 1 vectors we got. Again it is a linear combination of v1 v2 so on vp minus 1 equal to x bar. So I can say linear span, I can say linear span, nothing but span. So v1 v2 so on vp minus 1 also span h. So if h is equal to span of v1 v2 so on vp minus 1, if you remove any vector, the remaining vectors also span. That is first bit. Yes, come on, copy it once. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the interactive class. Just copy it. So once written, S is equal to V1, V2 so on Vp. In the first case he gave Vp is a linear combination of the remaining vectors. As it is a linear combination, Vp is a dependent vector. Vp is a dependent vector. That vector we removed at the end, and simply we are saying the remaining vectors forms a span of h or basis of h. Remaining vector forms a basis. So whenever you have among these p vectors, if you have any dependent vector, that vector simply we can remove it and remaining vectors will form a basis. Simply we have to remove the dependent vectors. If all the vectors are independent, then we can say it forms a basis of h. If one vector is dependent, we have to remove that vector, the remaining vectors will form a basis of h or span of h. Now here see, second bit that only we have. If the original span set is linearly independent, then it always forms a basis for h. All are linearly independent, simply it forms a basis because already is a span and linearly independent, simply forms a basis. If one vector is independent or linearly independent, if one vector is linearly dependent, that vector simply we have to remove it, same as part A. Then again we can say the remaining vector forms a basis. Why means linearly independent and again span. Like this we have to remove all the remaining vectors. All the vectors we have to remove it which are dependent. Over. So we can remove any dependent vectors. Like this, if we have at least one non-zero vector, if it is there, if at least one non-zero vector, that non-zero vector also forms a basis because non-zero vector is linearly independent and also we can say span. So simply a single non-zero vector is linearly independent, then S forms a basis. That's all. The second point is very easy. We have to say a non-zero vector, a single non-zero vector also forms a basis. A single non-zero vector is always linearly independent. So directly I can say it forms a basis of H. That's all. This spanning set theorem is over. Spanning set theorem nothing but whenever you have H is equal to span of this one, simply if you have any vector as linearly dependent, we can remove the vector and again we can write the remaining vectors in terms of span. At the same time, the remaining vectors are linearly independent. So simply I can say the given set is forms a basis. Basis means already we know that it should be linearly independent and span. That's all. This theorem is over. Now I'll do one more problem also based on this. next definition we have basis for null A and basis for column A. Basis for null A and basis for column A. Basis for null A. Null A is a set of all solutions of the matrix A x bar is equal to 0 bar x bar. Null A is a set of all solutions of the matrix A x bar is equal to 0 bar. This set of all solutions will call it as a null A. Similarly, basis for column A. Column A is a set of all linear combination of the columns of A. Is a set of all linear combination of the column A. Nothing but column A is span of all columns of A. And here note point is the pivot columns of matrix A forms a basis. The pivot columns of matrix A forms a basis for column A. And now we'll do one problem to find null A and column A. Basis for null A and basis for column A. Come on. So basis for null A and basis for column A, write the definition once. Basis for null A. Null A is a set of all solutions of the matrix A x bar is equal to 0 bar. Basis for column A. Column A is a set of all linear combinations of the column A, or that is column A equal to span of columns of A. Span of columns of A. And we can identify this span of columns of A by simply pivot columns. So note, pivot columns of matrix A form a basis for column A. So our present topic is basis for null A, how to find basis for null A and how to find basis for column A. Come on, take the question. Yes. Now basis for null A problem. Come on, see the question. Find the basis for null A where A equal to 1, 0, minus 3, 2, 0, 1, minus 5, 4, 3, minus 2, 1, minus 2. We have to find basis for null A. Solution. Given A equal to, come write the matrix, what we have, 1, 0, minus 3, 2, 0, 1, minus 5, 4, 3, minus 2, 1, minus 2. Over. We have to find basis for null A. Null A is the set of solutions of the matrix equation A x bar is equal to 0 bar. This x bar is the basis for null A. Null A is the set of solutions of the matrix equation A x bar is equal to 0 bar. These solutions we have to find. This solutions is known as basis for null A. Is known as basis for null A. Come on, consider A x bar is equal to 0 bar implies matrix A 1, 0, minus 3, 2, 0, 1, minus 5, 4, 3, minus 2, 1, minus 2. This x bar is column vector. Here we have 4 elements, so obviously 4 variables will come: x1, x2, x3, x4. equal to 0 bar, 0 column vector, 0 0 0 0. Now we have to find this column vector x1 x2 x3 x4. For this I will consider a augmented matrix and solve it so that I will get the x1 x2 x3 x4 values. Come on, consider augmented matrix. Consider augmented matrix. Augmented matrix. Homogeneous equation, actually this is homogeneous equation A 0 bar. I am considering matrix A 0 bar implies 1 0 minus 3 2 0 1 minus 5 4 3 minus 2 1 minus 2 and 0 vector 0 0 0. Over. Now I have to solve it with the help of echelon form. First one, I have to make first column, pivot column I have to make it. So this position 3 also I have to make it 0. Simply R3 implies R3 minus 3R1. R3 implies R3 minus 3R1. Once again listen, we have to find basis for null A. Matrix A already is given, so we have to find null A. Null A is the set of all solutions of matrix equation Ax bar is equal to 0 bar. I consider Ax bar and then I consider augmented matrix. Now I have to solve it. R3 implies R3 minus 3R1. So first row and second row as it is only. So write first row and second row. 1 0 minus 3 2 0 0 1 minus 5 4 0. Third row is R3. Write R3 here. 3 minus 2 1 minus 2 0. First row we have to multiply with 3. First row here. 3 1 are 3 0 minus 9 2 0. We have to do subtraction, we have to do it. Change the symbols, minus 0 no need, plus minus 0 no need. So 3 minus 3 0, minus 2 10 minus 4 0. This is third row. 0 minus 2 10 minus 4 0. Third row is 0 minus 2 10 minus 4 0. And now next, again I have to make this position as 0, minus 2 position. So R3, again R3. R3 implies R3. Now with the help of 1 we have to make it. R3 implies R3 plus 2R2. R3 implies R3 plus 2R2. Now I have to make it first row and second row as it is only, right? 1 0 minus 3 2 0. Second row 0 1 minus 5 4 0 0 minus 2 10. Sorry, third row we have to third row is R3, right? R3 0 minus 2 10 minus 4 0. 2 times of R2. Second row multiply with 2. 0 2 minus 10 8 0. We have to add it. 0 0 0 4 0 we are getting. 0 0 0 4 0 we are getting. Yes. Zero, 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 4, 0. First row first element, second row second, third row third element. Yes. Now we got below this diagram we got 0, echelon form we got. Now I'll write again equations. I'll write again equations. x1 0 x2 minus 3 x3 plus 2 x4 is equal to 0. Here see we have 4 variables, we have x1 x2 x3 x4. Again I'll write the equation for this augmented matrix. Come on, write x1 1 x1 0 x2 minus 3 x3 plus 2 x4 equal to 0. Equation number 1. Once here see x1 0 x2 minus 3 x3 2 x4 is equal to 0. Next 0 x1 1 x2 minus 5 x3 plus 4 x4 equal to 0. Equation number 2. And next 0 x1 0 x2 0 x3 4 x4 is equal to 0. Equation number 3, but we have x4 is equal to 0. x4 is equal to 0. Substitute x4 is equal to 0 in equation number 1 and equation number 2. Equation 1 implies x1 minus 3x3 is equal to 0. Equation 2 implies x2 minus 5x3 is equal to 0. We have 2 equations and 3 variables. 2 equations and 3 variables. So let us consider one variable as k, which is common. x3 is common, so I'll assume let x3 is equal to k. 2 equations of 3 variables we have. So I consider x3 is equal to k so that I can give the value of x1 and x2. x1 is equal to 3k, x2 is equal to 5k. So we got all the values, we got x1, x2, x3, x4. Therefore, x bar equal to x1, x2, x3, x4 equal to x1 already we have 3k, x2 5k, x3 k, x4 0. So simply we can write k times of 3 5 1 0. K times of 3 5 1 0. This vector 3 5 1 0 is a basis for null A. Therefore 3 5 1 0, this set, this set collection, nothing but k already we have. This collection form a basis for null A. This collection forms a basis for null A. If you want, again you can consider x bar as 3 5 1 0. Find a x bar, you will get null vector, you will get. Verification, if you want you can do it. You can do verification. Consider A, already we have matrix A is there. This is matrix A. Matrix A already we have. In the question also we have matrix A. And consider x bar as this one, 3 5 1 0. Scalar multiples with infinite solutions we have. All these vectors forms a basis only. Simply if you want k equal to 1, consider 3 5 1 0 and find a x bar. Simply you get null vector, you will get. Then I can say x bar is the basis for null A. X bar is the basis for null A. So a very simple method. You can find simply basis for null A. Simply consider A x bar is equal to 0 bar. Consider augmented matrix for A 0 bar and solve it with the help of echelon form. You will get the equations. Give the solution. X bar is equal to, if we are able to find the vector, this vector is linearly independent and span also. Linearly independent and span. So this vector we can say it is a basis. At the same time we can say it is a basis for null A, because A x bar is equal to 0 bar. This is x bar. This is x bar. Simply we will get A x bar. If you find, you will get 0 bar you will get. So this x bar is known as basis for null A. Yes, come on, copy it.